3-seed Kentucky taking the floor for the first time here in Tampa against amazing Vanderbilt. The Commodores playing their third game in as many days. Big Blue Nation arrived early. They have taken over the town. Go figure. 31 SEC tournament titles. Nobody has more. John Calipari has more than anybody not named Alabama or Kentucky. They're in the building now after a couple of days of partying, and even Oscar Tshiebwe spent time hanging out with the fans, riding a scooter around town, and your player of the year, maybe nationally, has arrived in Tampa. Scottie Pippen Jr. and the Vanderbilt Commodores looking for an upset, which would be the second of the day after A&M moved on. Pippen has been magnificent in his career against Kentucky. Even Dad appreciates it. He called it his dream school coming out of high school, but ended up at Vanderbilt, and he has Vandy ready to strike. Here's a look at the bracket. It'll be A&M and Arkansas tomorrow on ESPN. Tennessee past Mississippi State awaits the winner of this one. Kentucky and Vanderbilt. We are ready to go. Hope you are as well. Tom Hart, Dane Bradshaw, Listen Lang, I promise, is just right over there. Oscar Tshiebwe was riding scooters around town last night, taking pictures with adoring fans. There's a reason Kentucky fans love him. He's probably your national player of the year.
He is. It's not just what he does on the court, but his personality, his humility. But make no mistake about it, on the court, he is an absolute monster. You can't call him a gentle giant, but you can't call him a graceful giant. I mean, he is so dominant down low, but has such terrific footwork as well. Rarely gets himself in foul trouble. He has the skill, the grace, the strength, and the power all combined in one, and nobody has had an answer for him all season long. 17 points per game, 15 rebounds, and 46 blocks. This dude is putting on a historic performance for the Kentucky Wildcats.
12 straight double-doubles, 13, has a chance to break Dan Issel's school record. John Calipari is 9-1 in quarterfinals in the SEC tournament. The only loss came to Vanderbilt, the only school Kentucky has a losing record against. And Jerry Stackhouse has been fired up to face Kentucky. Gave the Cats all they wanted at Rupp a few weeks ago. His featured player is the league's leading scorer, Scottie Pippen Jr., who became the only player since the '97 season with consecutive 30-point games against Kentucky. And for more on what he can do on the field and off, here's Alyssa Lang.
Yeah, guys, you mentioned Vanderbilt being excited about this matchup. Kentucky, not so much. That matchup at the beginning of February was an absolute dogfight. So much so that after that game, back at the beginning of the month, John Calipari said, if we see him again, it's going to be in the tournament. And man, I hope we don't see them in the tournament. A ton of respect for Scottie Pippen Jr., who went into last night's Alabama game saying, yeah, we want a revenge match against the Crimson Tide. Well, he had said the same thing after the win last night about the Kentucky Wildcats. He said, I've never beaten them while I've been here at Vanderbilt. We lost 2 during the regular season. Heck yeah, we want another shot at them. Rodney Chapman added, it's March. These are the games we live for, the games we grew up watching on TV. We're going to show up and perform.
Pippen has a chance to make history to become a player to score 30 points in 3 consecutive games against Kentucky. Pete Maravich didn't do that in 1970. Austin Carr of Notre Dame didn't do it the same year. Johnny Newman of Ole Miss. They all had great scoring games, but never 3 30-point games. Blue-White has already taken over the building. Champ Week rolls on. It's the finale on this Friday night in the SEC tournament. Tshiebwe wins the tip. Xavier Wheeler, the nation's third best assist man, runs the point for Kentucky.
Look for Kentucky to make Scottie Pippen work defensively. 3 games, 3 days, and get out in transition. Try to make fatigue be a factor in favor of the Wildcats.
First touch for Tshiebwe, guarded by the 7-footer Liam Robbins, whose length certainly affected Oscar in the previous matchup. That's Xavier Wheeler with the bucket. Pippen getting some help by moving off ball when Rodney Chapman returned to the lineup for Vanderbilt, but Vandy is down a guard. Trey Thomas injured his hamstring last night. He will not play this evening for Vanderbilt. He was given him a key 18 minutes off the bench in the backcourt. Ty Washington fouled by Jordan Wright.
Kentucky fortunate on that 3-point attempt. Grady lost sight of Studi. 10 in black for Vanderbilt. He kept the Commodores in it last night. Big part of their offense. If he's hitting from 3, They're on another level offensively.
Here's a look at the starting five for Kentucky. A mix of young talent and transfer pieces. Wheeler from Georgia, Tshiebwe from West Virginia, Grady from Davidson.
Usually it's a couple upperclassmen supporting a ton of freshmen. Now it's a couple freshmen supporting a ton of upperclassmen. A different, more mature Kentucky team this year.
Xavier Wheeler's been shooting the ball lately last couple of games. Here's Tshiebwe from the elbow. First bucket for Oscar Tshiebwe. Cap fans love it. I don't know if there's anything he can't do. He's been on the birds, he's been in the pulpit, and he certainly gets it done on the basketball court. They hedge on to Pippen. Finds a 7-footer. Robbins, and he jams it home. Robbins played at Minnesota. He's used to facing elite talent. He played against some good ones like Kofi Coburn in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and Luka Garza. And so he has not been able to get into rhythm this season because of the injuries, but they need a huge game from Robbins.
Here's Ty Washington. Tshiebwe, offensive board. 1 out of 5 Kentucky misses end up with Tshiebwe, and the result of Ty Washington 3.
Well, you can't become detached from Tshiebwe on the box out. You've got to put a butt on him. He's going to get enough on his own. You can't give him easy ones.
Pippen, first opportunity. Robbins a rebound.
And you see Kentucky's willing to make Pippen take tough twos. You don't want to help off him. If he gets his, that's okay. He can't be a scorer and a facilitator, though.
Wheeler throws it away. Here's another look at Oscar Tshiebwe.
Yeah, just long rebound there. Tough bounce from Vanderbilt. Quick ball movement. That's the best time to get an open threes off an offensive rebound with the defense sucked in.
Talked with the great Dan Issel about Oscar Tshiebwe yesterday. He said he reminds me of Wes Unseld. I've never seen anybody besides Unseld be able to read the ball off the rim and know where it's going. It's not just effort, it's a skill.
And it's like magnets on those two huge paws. He never has one-handed rebounds, always going up with two.
Pippen misses another one from the paint. Here's Robbins. And the former 300-pounder Liam Robbins down to a svelte 250 gets his second bucket.
And for Kentucky fans saying, who the heck's this guy? Well, his first game back was against the Wildcats. Very rusty at Rupp Arena. But he could be a huge force in the paint for Vanderbilt.
I was going to say he bothered Tshiebwe that game, but Tshiebwe still finished with 11 and 17. Then he went for 30 and 13 in the other game. It's all relative. We talk about Tshiebwe's production doing things that haven't been done in 50 years. But a time with John Calipari the last couple of days, he's got an energy about him, and he gets that way when he knows he has a great team. He is in a fighting mood.
Well, and he's coaching players instead of raising kids this year. And you can tell he's excited. He has an extremely smart team. Even in shoot-around today, he said, guys, they may do a few wrinkles in the game that we're not prepared for, but you're a smart team. I know you can handle it.
Miles Studi did not score in the previous matchup. He was key last night with 6 threes against Alabama. And Vandy's come from behind when the Doors trailed by 15 in the second half of that one. Chapman jumps the passing lane, a Vandy steal, and he navigates it off the glass.
Ty Washington's got to go up and try to contest that. That's too easy of a 2 in transition.
7-0 Vanderbilt run. Two-man game, Wheeler and Tshiebwe, a jumper from the big. Vandy with a chance to add to it. 7-0 run, and Pippen has yet to score. Quick start to this one, and a red-hot Vanderbilt on a 7-0 run to make it interesting. The Doors in front by a deuce.
Just how is Oscar Tshiebwe so dominant on the glass? Well, let's take a look at it. I mean, this guy not only has great instincts, but it is a skill. And typically what happens when the ball goes up for a shot, people are watching the ball, not him. Oscar Tshiebwe looks and locates his man, boxes him out. Look, he's going to spin around, find his man, put a butt on him, go get that, give me mine, everybody else, get out of there. And even when there's a bunch of dudes in there, 3 against 1, who's going to get it? Well, the one, of course, if it's Oscar Tshiebwe, then smart enough to kick the ball out. And then he can even go get his own. And check out the footwork here. This is why I call him the graceful giant, because not many beasts can also be a contestant in Dancing with the Stars. His footwork is terrific down low.
Look at this, most rebounds in a single season since 96, 97. He's leading the nation with 15 boards. It's thorough reading to read all of the records that he has set or is near setting, and it's tough to pick out just one. He broke Shaquille O'Neal's 30-year-old Rupp record with 28 boards against Western Kentucky. He had 20 boards the first game against Duke. When I was there for Pro Day and interviewing him, he said, yeah, I want to average 20 rebounds this year. And I laughed, and other people laughed. And now, well, he's
with Vanderbilt, and all of a sudden now they've become an extremely confident team where they go into big games now expecting to win, and that was not always the case at Vanderbilt.
Well, John Calipari wasn't exactly looking forward to playing this Vanderbilt team. Watched the tape last night. He said, I watched the last couple of games. He said, after the last time, I'm glad we're done playing them. If we see them again, we'll be in the tournament, and I hope we don't see them in the tournament. Vandy gave the Cats all they could handle in their last matchup. The Commodores are especially effective getting to the free throw line, and that's where Pippen made hay with a career-high 21 trips to the line in last night's comeback against Alabama. Off the screen, off multiple screens. Here's Pippen again. And then a third screen. Now he's free. Studi with the rebound. Chapman tees it up. Another offensive board for Vandy.
Long shots, long rebounds. Those become 50-50 balls. Vanderbilt coming out with them.
Chapman battling his way back from a hamstring injury. He played on the great Dayton team. A nice finish by Miles Studi.
Rare to see him go all the way to the rim on the season. 151 of his 185 shots were from deep.
Mintz on the floor now for the Cats. Here's Grady. Good movement and motion from this Kentucky offense. Keon Brooks working on Studi. Nice little layup.
And they're getting into that dribble drive offense much sooner down the court as opposed to setting plays, whether it's off a make or a miss. They're getting into their action extremely quick.
Cal first fell in love with the dribble drive when he was at Memphis. Took him to the Final Four. Pippen, no whistle after the Mintz contact. Transition three. Count it! Grady with the triple. Cats reclaim the lead.
And that was priority #1 for Vanderbilt. Get back in transition. Kentucky is going to make this tired Vanderbilt team run, and you got to find Grady.
Now made 9 of his last 17 threes. Jordan Wright shares it. Malora Brown on Tshiebwe. Blocked with the left hand. Wheeler in the open floor now. Push ahead Mintz. Great recovery by Miles Studi. Tshiebwe double. Here's Mintz. Yes. Davion Mintz with the three. Kentucky extends the lead. Pippen turns it over. Cats hitting on all cylinders with an 8-0 run.
Well, first the transition, the great advance pass, and that's all day easy money for Grady. Not a defender in sight. And then how about the half-court offense? They bring the double team. It gets it out quick, and the quick reversal. And Mintz, who has thrived coming off the bench for the Wildcats.
This is Grady to Tshiebwe, working on Malora Brown. Pippen came in to dig on him. And Malora Brown with the rejection. And we got a push. We had shoot around yesterday for Kentucky, and when the Cats were running through regular drills, Sahvir Wheeler got multiple opportunities to work on his shot, so much so that John Calipari said, no, Sahvir, you shoot the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And now the transfer from Georgia has hit 50% from deep over his last 3 games. How important is it for him to be a threat?
Yeah, and I think it's throughout the season what was important is he didn't abandon it. Early in the season, he was less than 20% from deep. But you got to keep shooting them to make the defense respect him. You can't expect it to all of a sudden start falling in March. And he's become respectable from 3 as Mintz takes a tough shot coming around that screen.
Quentin Malora-Brown with the foul. That's his first. Brooks committed his second a moment ago. Hope maybe on Mintz is okay. Gonna have to change rows in the choir. Jacob Toppin on the floor. Wheeler third in the country in assists, nearly 7 per game. Mintz looks fine. Here's Toppin. Pull up. Tough shot.
Well, Vanderbilt wants to make other players beat them besides Tshiebwe down low, and guess what? Kentucky's doing it.
And John Calipari has used tournament time to give opportunities, sometimes last-minute chances to players from the bench before he tightens his rotation in the NCAA tournament. And if you prove worthy, you have an opportunity to solidify rotation time. Tyron Lawrence gets his own miss. Rejected by Tshiebwe. Second block for the big guy. Loose ball. And Lawrence blocked. Wow! Toppin came out of nowhere from across the bay. What a start to this game. Cats on a 10-0 run after Vandy scored 7 straight. Mintz floater. Terry Stackhouse was sending a play call. Vandy needs to get a bucket, especially if they can't get a stop. Pippen for 3. Got fouled, and he's going to the line.
How big was that as this play starts to become a home game for Kentucky? Scottie Pippen Jr. with a clutch answer early on in this one.
First bucket for Pippen tonight, but Kentucky's defense all over the place. Where did Toppin come from?
Out of nowhere says, give me that. You want to see one of the best verticals in the SEC. Zero just showed you. And then Pippen says, hold on. We're not going home just yet. And one from deep.
Welcome back to Champ Week. How about the play of Jacob Toppin?
Well, it's more than just the highlight, as impressive as that was. But for Kentucky, as Coach Cal has said, he wants these guys to be a star in their role. And when you look down this roster, Oscar Tshiebwe, certainly a National Player of the Year candidate. The terrific point guard play by Xavier Wheeler. Ty Washington, a great freshman that can get you anything off the bounce. The shooter, Kellen Grady. The role player, Keon Brooks. I mean, you go down the line and then you go to the bench. And you have an energy guy like Toppin that can come in and make these momentum-changing type plays. And you just think about it in an NCAA tournament game, you can't get anything going offensively. Maybe somebody's in foul trouble. Then you got a guy like Toppin that can come in and do things like that that could get your team over the hump.
We saw it the last game of the regular season, Arkansas at Tennessee, and the Razorbacks are getting blown out, and Eric Musselman decided, you know what, I'm going to give some guys a chance and see what they can do. Not that you ever plan on being down double digits, but to have athletes and players that are good enough off the bench to not only get in there and get you points, but to have the other guys go, oh, wait a second, he's playing pretty well. I might need to get back out there.
Well, and I think the blessing in disguise for Kentucky has been some of their injuries. They've been able to recover from those and they're healthy, but you think about a guy like Bryce Hopkins, the hero in the LSU game, 13 points, 16 minutes. Everybody feels a part of this team's success because of the story they've had so far in this season.
Pippen makes it a 4-point play, and it's a 4-point Kentucky lead. Alyssa was listening in to John Calipari's huddle. What'd you learn?
Yeah, Coach Cal really happy with the speed of the way his team is playing right now, but emphasizing getting a little bit more active on the offensive rebound, specifically hitting up his big guy, Oscar Tshiebwe, saying, hey, don't tip those balls. Don't go for it with one hand. You got to go up with 2 hands to come down with some of those.
He's leading the country by grabbing 19% of available offensive rebounds. Think about what that means. 1 out of every 5 Kentucky misses, he gathers and gives them another opportunity when he's playing well. Another free throw coming for Ty Washington.
And Tom, he makes the right decision when he gets it, whether it's the kick out. If you need to run clock, get a 3-point shot, or he goes up with it as well.
Alyssa mentioned the pace of this game. The Kentucky staff well aware this is the 3rd game in as many days for Vanderbilt. How important is it for the Cats to get into them and run a bit?
Oh, there's no question. You want fatigue to be a factor, and for Vanderbilt, The way to do that, you got to keep running your stuff offensively, but you got to get to the free throw line. That's been a weapon for them all season long, but make this a little bit of a sloppy game and give yourself a breather by being at the stripe.
Heard a lot of whistles in the game last night for Vanderbilt. It was a new SEC tournament record in free throw attempts. Here's Robbins. Got the three. Wow. Hey, and Robbins with the triple.
Is he ready to play or what, man? A lot of people that have been following his story in the SEC are thinking, where did this 7-1 guy come from? And Oscar Tshiebwe is going to say, hold on, let me humble you a little bit, big fella.
Tshiebwe is 6'9". Robbins is 7 feet. Robbins had 0 offers coming out of Assumption High School in Davenport, Iowa. A big reason was his weight. He tipped the scales at nearly 300 pounds. Went to Sunrise Christian, dropped the weight. A couple years at Drake, then Minneapolis with Minnesota in the Big Ten. Tshiebwe with the rebound. He's eating 2 boxes of cereal a day. That's a lot of Captain Crunch.
He's a late bloomer, but he's blooming right now for Vanderbilt. I feel like that's a 4-point swing. Scottie Pippen Jr. went in there trying to seek the contact instead of make the layup. Leads to a layup for Kentucky.
Pippen going into Tshiebwe. Drive. Air ball from the rim. Another board for Oscar. Push ahead. Toppin up. Got a 42.5 vertical, but didn't have the hands to pull it in. Now Lawrence draws the foul, and he gets it to roll home.
Well, Vanderbilt's not afraid to run with Kentucky. They've got to be opportunistic on their own. So the missed lob attempt for the Wildcats. And no question a block on this one. Good sidestep. Lawrence and one.
So Tyron Lawrence back to the free throw line. Been in and out of the starting lineup for Jerry Stackhouse this season. Pippen will get a breather. He's got 1 foul, not an issue, and he doesn't usually get into foul trouble. Pippen's strength is drawing fouls. He drew 12 of them last night. Grady, short. Lance Ware in the game, and he commits the foul.
Coach Cal is imploring for Lance Ware to go up there with 2 hands to get the rebound. Alyssa touched on it about the message in the huddle. But Lance Ware getting some minutes with Keon Brooks with 2 personal fouls. A great offensive rebound opportunity. Just don't go up there trying to corral it with 1 ball. Put 2 of them on there.
Anybody check and see if Cal's watch is clasped tightly tonight?
That's a nice watch. But can it count your steps, Tom Hart?
Those steps for him now. It is firmly in place after it flew off when the Kentucky women's team won the SEC tournament in Nashville on Sunday. Lawrence downhill. A great touch. He ended up next to the standard. He's late getting down the floor. Kentucky will push.
You want to pull off an upset, you got to get some unexpected production. Vanderbilt's getting it right now from Robbins and Lawrence.
Ty Washington, the freshman from Phoenix, fits it in. And now stolen away by Ware. They tried to push it to the 7-footer.
Just a poor decision there. What was he going to do with it anyway if he caught it, throwing it to him in that spot?
Mintz lost his footing. And Ware went diving for it. It'll be Vanderbilt basketball. Where's the pace out right now in terms of whether or not this game is moving too fast for Vandy?
I think it's okay for him because, look, yes, there's a method to the madness for Kentucky. That's how they want to play. They want to wear Vanderbilt down with the 3-game, 3 days. But Vanderbilt can struggle some in a slower game in the half-court set. So I think they're going to get themselves some open looks with this pace, even if it comes at the expense of some of that fatigue.
Wheeler back on the floor as Mintz heads to the bench for the Cats.
This is the guy they need some buckets from. Jordan Wright, 4 in black. They like to post him up and ISO him.
He had a 14-10 double-double against Kentucky in the last matchup. In traffic. Nice touch.
And he's all about angles. You have to stay in front of him. Do not get lost on the pivot or the pump fake.
Toppin threw it away. Washington was cutting. Toppin Didn't see it. 6 turnover for Kentucky. It's a beautiful night outside. Everybody has come inside the arena for the finale. Kentucky and Vandy tight early. Oscar Tshiebwe, the transfer from West Virginia, doing everything for the Cats.
Yeah, you try to play the pick and roll, make him shoot the jumper, don't get out there in time. He's got the nice touch from there. And then here he is. Even when you have inside position, he still gets the offensive rebound, creates the second chance opportunity, another 3 points there. You want to bring the double team, no problem. He's going to make the right decision, kicks it out. This is going to lead to another triple for Kentucky. So that's 2 hockey assists for him. A total of 8 points in that clip. Then let's put a .10 on the board that he's responsible for. Just going to work down low, gets the terrific angles. Tom, when I saw these guys in the blue-white game earlier in the year, I thought, man, he dominated everybody. He just punked them. I said, but the bad news is he punked Kentucky players. Who's going to keep up with him and man up? I didn't realize he was just going to punk the entire nation. And he has exceeded expectations.
He's trying to become the first in the country to average 15 rebounds a game since 1980. He will be the first at Kentucky since 1955. Jordan Wright. Here's Robbins again. Tracked down, another offensive rebound. It's Jermaine Mann to Chapman. And the rebound finally brought in by Damian Collins. Wheeler right into DeZoni for the foul.
He's just impossible to stay in front of when he's got that type of speed going. You almost have to guess which way he's going if you want to cut him off.
Pippen back in the game. Sat for a moment. Scottie Pippen Jr. January of 20, I should say, played his first game against Kentucky. He scored 12 points. The next game 13, then 18, 21, 32, 33. He's got more productive each and every game, yet Vandy has lost all 6 matchups.
They were trying to run a look for Grady. That's one thing. They got to try to get Grady some looks in the half court. It can't just be in transition, hoping another team loses them.
Jump stop for Wheeler, out to Grady. He can hit him when he's covered. And we got a foul inside on Vandy. Man, can't believe it.
But Tom, Grady's only had, he has not had more than 1 3 in the past 4 games. And you got to get more looks for him. I know Kentucky does not rely on the 3, but it needs to be a more integral part of their half-court offense. Good job by Collins, just hustling, getting in the mix, creates an extra opportunity for his team.
No miscommunication. Now the shot clock at 8. Wheeler finds Tshiebwe. The defense by Robbins. Wheeler with 1. Corner 3 at the buzzer. An air ball. And Kentucky is not on the same page. That Calipari saying that's twice. Come get it.
But a good adjustment by Vanderbilt. Earlier in the game, we showed the replay. Oscar Tshiebwe getting that open 15-footer. Robbins does a much better job of recovering quicker, forcing him to rotate out of it.
Vandy has a winning record against Kentucky in this SEC tournament. They've won the last 2 matchups. Only down 2. Team Robbins. Rebound by Wheeler. Wheeler, a bowling ball in there, and Robbins fighting for it. Good hands.
And he can make those, but if you're Vanderbilt, you'll live with that. Tough 2s fading away from the basket.
Pippen is able to draw the foul on Kellen Grady. And so Pippen to the free throw line.
Just such a talented driver, Tom. I mean, he is north-south at all times. Rarely do you see him going east-west. He just weaves in and out, whether it's in transition, half court. And to be an all-SEC player for the 2nd year in a row in the toughest league in the country, is something else.
Trying to become the first conference player since Ronnie Henderson averaged 20 points a game in back-to-back seasons. That was back in 1996, primarily from the free throw line. This is his 267th free throw attempt of the year. He was only a 3-star recruit, came into this year as the preseason player of the year in the league.
And I think the good news for Vanderbilt is it's not been the Pippen show. They've tried that before with him scoring over 30. If they're going to beat Kentucky, it's got to be a balanced attack.
Ty Washington used every bit of the metal. He's got 8.
His mid-range game is elite.
Pippen working on Mintz. Here's Pippen again. An air ball. That's what John Calipari saw on the tape last night. He said, I'm watching him shoot air balls against Alabama, and I'm thinking maybe we should just go under every screen. Well, even though Pippen didn't shoot it well, just 5 of 19, he still finished with 26.
And he knows he made a mistake there. Taps his chest and says, my bad, guys. Don't settle for that when you've been getting pretty good looks in the half court. I like Vanderbilt's offense posting up Jordan Wright a little bit down low. Let him facilitate some, play a little one-on-one.
Pat Adams going to go check in at the end of the bench. Jacob Toppin has a bloody nose, and they'll take some time to tend to him.
He's the only guy on the court. You got to wonder if he hit it on the rim. I mean, this dude is a freak athlete.
Well, of course, you know about his brother. Kentucky fans already rolling their eyes that we bring that one up. But there's somebody else on the floor that knows him well. Rodney Chapman played with Obi Toppin at Dayton, that fantastic team a couple years ago. He was a starting point guard on that 29-2 team that was headed to a #1 national seed before COVID interrupted everyone's plans. He said they learned their fate when they were on their way to the tournament. Toppin's going to have to go back and get tended to and take it off the bench and perhaps all the way back into the locker room. Jeffrey Satin, the Kentucky athletic trainer. It was friendly fire, we're told, from the truck. Oscar Tshiebwe caught him. Wheeler, a little off balance. Doesn't go. Talking with Kentucky assistant Jay Lucas, and he said the one thing we're working on with Xavier Wheeler is you've got to be in balance when you go up for your jump shot. Sometimes he gets moving too quick and gets off balance, whether that's a mid-range jumper or a 3. And there's a 3 from Studi, and Vandy goes up by 1.
Well, and this Kentucky offense has not been the same without their glue guy, Keon Brooks, who's been out with those 2 fouls. Coach Calipari started to send him in the game. He says, no, come on back. I don't want to risk it. Bryce Hopkins looking to check in.
Tshiebwe. Old school bank shot.
That's tough. He just does that quick spin on the baseline. Loves going over that left shoulder. Nice touch off the glass.
Studi did not make a bucket against Kentucky last time. He was looking for back-to-back threes. Talking about the supporting actors needing to help Pippen. Well, Studi, after 4 threes last night, is feeling it again tonight.
Yeah, Studi's a guy that can talk the trash, but he can back it up. 2 triples in this one. And then Tshiebwe. I mean, how do you beat this? I don't care what defender you got on him. Nobody's stopping Big Oscar. In his appropriate attire, we said, man, does this guy fold his suits in a carry-on like we do? Don't think so.
No, he packed plenty of suits, though. He said, I got 5 of them. Vandy trying to get to the semifinals for the first time since 2017. How about the balance for the Doors tonight?
Yeah, it hadn't been the Scottie Pippen show, although he had a big bucket here to quiet the run by Kentucky. But it's been others. And Lawrence gets to the rack. As I mentioned earlier, you got to have some unexpected production. And Robbins comes through clutch with a big 3. And then Studi, of course, getting in on the mix. But this is a Vanderbilt team that expects to win. This is the most confident 11 seed in a conference tournament you can find in the country right now. They've been close in so many games and taking teams down to the wire. They're not scared of anybody in this league.
And a lot of that comes from their head coach, Jerry Stackhouse. He was fired up. That game at Rupp picked up a technical. He is a competitor. That should go without saying for all of his years in the NBA. Two-time All-Star over 19 seasons. He's not the kind of coach that's going to back down to John Calipari.
And anytime you try to bring up lack of talent to him or injuries or anything like that, he just says, look, we have enough. We have enough.
Here's Washington, left it short. Jordan Wright finds it. Vandy looking to reclaim the lead. Alyssa, what'd you learn from the Vanderbilt huddle?
They're happy with the way they're playing, guys. The name of the game for them right now, defend and rebound. They want to limit Kentucky to 1 shot per possession. They're happy with what they've been able to do in that realm so far.
Cats lead the country in offensive rebound percentage so far tonight on 11 misses. They only have 3 offensive rebounds. Chapman with the driving kick. Right, off balance, got it. Vandy back in front.
I don't see any tired legs. These guys ready to hoop. Jordan Wright could be a mismatch nightmare.
Bryce Hopkins waits in the corner, see if they go to him. Bounce to Tshiebwe. And he draws a foul from Malora Brown.
On the Vanderbilt side, anytime you get Jordan Wright the ball, it's a good thing. And he's just a very patient player. Pump fake, pull up, mid-range game. He's got it. Part of Jerry Stackhouse's first recruiting class. The anchor and anchor down for the Commodores.
Liam Robbins back on the floor now for Vanderbilt, and Ware will replace Hopkins. John Calipari was very concerned about the physicality that Vanderbilt plays with. That was a key component in a storyline in the game at Rupp, where they leaned on Tshiebwe, and Robbins doing the same here.
Well, at halftime of that Florida game, he said, guys, get Oscar the ball. And I think that's what they're trying to do right now, especially in Brooks' absence.
Tshiebwe thought he was fouled. We got a tie up, and nobody wants to let go of it. Tshiebwe took over that game in the second half. At one point, between the start of the second and the end of the first, he scored 17 of 19 points for Kentucky.
Good job of not giving him any type of angle there at all by Robbins, and the 7-footer disrupts the shot. But to me, that's the biggest part of the game. Alyssa touched on it. Limiting Kentucky to being one and done on the offensive end.
Pulled out a 71-63 victory in the regular season finale against Florida. After Tshiebwe took over. Florida lost its opener against Texas A&M. Then the Aggies won again today. Studi short. Ware the board. Wheeler. 16-footer. Got it.
That's that balance you were talking about, Tom. He goes in with that terrific speed, but settles down, gets off a clean, balanced look.
Pippen trying to get out of the double. Finds Chapman for 3. An air ball saved at the baseline and then nearly thrown away. Pippen saves it. Pippen weaves his way. Shot clock at 7. Working against big Lance Ware. A bump, a fake, a fade. They're making Pippen work. Could have been basket interference. Looked like Vandy yanked the net, and it fell off the side of the rim.
I know Vandy wants to run with it, but you got to run some clock here. You've had a terrific first half. Take your time here. Don't let Kentucky get any sort of momentum heading into the half.
Ty Washington the foul. It's his second. 56 seconds left. And Vandy in the bonus.
And it's tough to keep that balance when you're as fast as he is, but he stops on a dime, stops, pops, bottom.
The conversation with Jay Lucas was, if you're Xavier Wheeler, you've got to stop and get in balance. If you're a guy like Kellen Grady, who can get shots off with guys in your pocket, it's a different talent. There's different size involved. Some guys can do it, some can't.
Well, and for Wheeler, a lot of his shots are coming off the dribble. Other guys are getting it off the catch, so your shot prep is a little bit different, especially with Wheeler's speed. SEC
Scholar Athlete of the Year, Jordan Wright knocks down 2 free throws. 7th lead change in this first half.
I think the other thing Vanderbilt's been able to take advantage of is not just Keon Brooks when Kentucky's on offense, but Keon Brooks on defense. Is Jordan Wright been able to get what he wants on those post-ups.
Big screen from Tshiebwe. Wheeler off balance there. Oscar the board. He'll go up again. Robin's got a block, and the loose ball stays with Kentucky. Wheeler drives. Cut off. Here's Grady. Shot clock at 7. Finger roll. Got it.
Nice job by Grady. If they're going to run you off the line, make
steal. Mintz. And one. Well, that was quick.
Yeah, as Will Ferrell would say, that escalated quickly. Well, it's great relocation by Grady. He runs to that corner with the hammer pass, and if they're going to close out of control, make a pay with the floater. Well done by Grady. And then just a careless play by Studi. We talked about it, just taking time off the clock, going to halftime. You've done so well. Don't give any momentum to Kentucky. And in a blink of an eye, here come the Wildcats.
First on Studi. Ware heads to the bench. Mintz asked for a towel. They pass it around. He initially leaned in on Pat Adams and tried to wipe his hands off on the official's shirt. That's the whole. No. We have towels for that. 3-point play. Davion Mintz. 19 seconds left in the half. Pippen says push it. They'll get across midcourt and use the timeout. Vandy without a bucket the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's not just a business trip for this Kentucky team, but talking with John Calipari, he was laughing about his visit to Dickie V when he came down to Tampa, came in a day early, so spent time with ESPN's best and his lovely wife, Lorraine. He said, you know, Lorraine is there, and she's not just a saint, but he was laughing. He said, she's there to catch him in all of his lies. I said, Dick, what are you doing staying up so late at night? You got to get to bed early, get up early, get moving. She said he won't put down the phone. He's just tweeting nonstop. Dick, it's so great to see you up and about. We can't wait to see you here tomorrow at the SEC tournament this weekend, and we certainly miss him. And hearing his voice on college basketball. Yeah,
the way college basketball has come back with the fans after the pandemic, everything else, the one missing piece has been Dickie V, but the support's been amazing. His battle's been amazing. An inspiring man.
17 seconds left in the half. Vandy is in the bonus. Pippen guarded by Mintz off the ball. And now they switch. 8, 6, and a dribble across the end line. Great defense by Davion Mintz.
Well, that's the last thing you want if you're Vanderbilt. I mean, you should be getting the last shot there. Worst case scenario, now Kentucky with 6 tips.
7th turnover, Vandy. Wheeler takes it across midcourt in front of Pippen. Strong left side, lost the dribble, picks it up, blocked by Robbins to end the half. All in all, Vandy's got to be pleased with the effort in the score.
Outside of a mini run there at the end by Kentucky, Vanderbilt going to the locker room with a ton of confidence. Jerry Stackhouse telling his team, we can win this game.
John Calipari's with a listen.
Coach, how would you evaluate the first half?
We played okay. I mean, they're playing well. Vandy's playing as well as anybody in the country right now. Shooting, running their offense, playing physical, bump and grind. They're doing good.
Emphasis at halftime?
What's that?
What's your emphasis at halftime?
Let's play a little bit better.
Thanks, Coach. Tom,
it's
back to you.
Simple as that. They're shooting 50% from the floor. Cal anxious to get in there and talk to his team, but they're getting all they can handle from Vandy in the 3rd matchup of this season. Let's get into the guys who look sharp on the desk. Darian, gentlemen.
Yeah, you think anybody can coach, right? I mean,
from Amalie Arena in Tampa, John Calipari is 9-1 in SEC tournament quarterfinal matchups. His only loss to Vandy, and right now Kentucky holding on to a slim 4-point lead over the 11 seed Commodores. A&M already has an upset, knocked out the #1 seed by 5 this morning, and so they'll get Arkansas. Convincing win against LSU. The winner of this one gets Tennessee. Welcome back. Tom Hart, Dane Bradshaw, Alyssa Lang is just right over there. I would have to imagine if you're Vandy, you're pretty proud of this effort, even though you're trailing at the half.
And Scottie Pippen Jr. in the previous 2 meetings had 30-plus points. he's been limited in this game, and I think that's a good thing for Vanderbilt. You're not going to beat Kentucky just him putting the team on the shoulder. Balanced attack for Vanderbilt. They kept Kentucky off the offensive glass and actually won the battle and points in the paint. And so Oscar Tshiebwe on his way to another double-double, but it's not as dominating as a double-double as we've seen throughout the course of the season.
Great defense so far on the National Player of the Year candidate. For more on Vanderbilt, Alyssa Lang talked with Jerry Stackhouse.
Yeah, I asked him what the emphasis was at halftime. He said we played a good first half minus the last few minutes of that first half. We said we have to clean up some of those mistakes, but he's really happy about the way the Commodores are winning the ball on the offensive glass right now. He's happy about the balance he's seeing on the stat sheet. You guys talked about that in the first half. It's not just Scottie Pippen Jr. right now. I asked him about the tempo of this game, how quickly it's moving. He said, I don't mind getting some quick shots off, see if we can catch Kentucky off balance.
Yeah, that's the question, I think, for Vanderbilt. Down 4 and 31 possessions in the first half for Vandy. Do they have the legs to hang in this thing in the second half? Pippen guarding Wheeler.
And Tom, I just have such respect for what Keon Brooks brings to the table. Now that he's back on the court, I think Kentucky can be a different team in the half court.
Brooks held to 7 minutes in the first half. I wonder if Cal told the Cats the same thing he told them in Gainesville this weekend. Go to Oscar. Scored the first 11 of the second half on Saturday, and he gets the first touch here. That's such a reliable piece of your attack when you know that it's there. A possession in, a possession out.
Yeah, no wasted dribbles at all, just clockwork.
Robbins trying to fit it inside. Good gather by Wright. Dig down from Brooks, and Wright gets it.
I'm telling you, they get good stuff when they get Wright the ball. And Vanderbilt, he's not a guy you want to double team, but he takes advantage of you in those one-on-one matchups.
Washington off balance. Brooks the board. Tshiebwe keeps it alive, and it's off of Studi. Oscar Tshiebwe is a giant eraser wearing a headband. He can make your mistakes go away. Glad he got a headband that fits. Last time he tried it, really cut off the circulation. Illegal screen will take it the other way. That's on Kellen Grady in his second.
And that's a shame for Kentucky because that's exactly where you want Wheeler to get it. Almost like a toss sweep play, getting him downhill full speed with that left hand. And they're just going to get the illegal screen there by Grady. Kentucky now going to apply some pressure, just continue to see if they can't wear Vanderbilt down.
They press about 14% of their opponent's possessions. They're going to review this play. Doug Shouse has a headset on. Pat Adams will help him out. Try to identify what they're looking at. John Calipari asking for some clarification. Both teams will go to their benches. Grady. That was a quick review, comma foul. They're trying to see if Grady made contact above the.
But you do get to see the ability of Pippen's acting skills. I mean, he's able to get a lot of fouls, and he could sell it better than anybody in the SEC.
There's two ways to sell it, right? Like a Remy Martin sells it with the head, because the head back, even though he's not touched. Pippen does it with the entire upper body.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a flop. It's just emphasizing, hey, this is what happened to me. Let me tell the world, and the whistle comes his way.
Pippen says, come this way. Wright now has Pippen posted up on Wheeler. Shot like a 5. Over Grady. Jordan Wright drains a 3. We got a 1-point game.
They can't win big games if he's not the Robin to the Batman of Scottie Pippen Jr. He's coming through this evening.
Good denial on the wing. Studi lost the handle on it. Pippen. Here's Chapman. Another bucket for Vandy. The Commodores have taken the lead, and John Calipari uses a timeout. All smiles in the black and gold.
And welcome to modern day basketball. You get a 2-on-1 and everybody runs to the 3-point line. Works out well for Vanderbilt. Pippen makes the nice extra pass. But first, it's Jordan Wright who's just like, hey, I know I've been posting you up, but how about this? I got a little bit more to my game than you think. Splash. And then after the 2-on-1 fast break, the reliable veteran Chapman, cash money.
Vanderbilt and Kentucky for the 53rd SEC tournament crown.
We've looked for the formula to take down Kentucky all season long. You might be seeing it the last 2 hours.
Taylor, nice drive, followed by Azir. Johnson up and under. He is ready for a big shot. The Commodores of Vanderbilt are the Southeastern Conference tournament champions.
They had their eyes locked in the Cats, and they took them down.
2012 SEC Championship. How about Scottie Pippen? They're throwing out free T-shirts. According to Basketball Reference, he made $109 million in his basketball career. Give me that $9 T-shirt.
Yeah, come on, man. You catch one of those, you got. At least he denied it when they tried to give it to him. Said, no, you have fun.
How about the Vandy run? 8-0 to take the lead here in the second half.
Well, he's the ultimate X factor for Vanderbilt and shows you what he can do on the perimeter, in the post. And, you know, you just haven't seen any tired legs at all for Vanderbilt. And I love how balanced they've been. You felt like if Scottie Pippen had to just put the team on his back, that wasn't going to work. We've seen that attempted before. Wow, there's Chapman. The KG vet gets the push off on Wheeler.
John Calipari can't believe it. It's the first on Wheeler. Vanderbilt is perfect here in the second half. 3 for 3 from the floor.
Well, usually we pay attention to the out-of-bounds offensive plays. That time there was a defensive play for Vanderbilt. Jerry Stackhouse catching Kentucky a little bit off guard with the full court press.
Pippen, corner 3. Tshiebwe's got it. Here's Washington. Blocked by Robbins, who's having a monster game for Vanderbilt. 7 points, 3 boards, and a couple of blocks. Chapman. Well, a rare time Tshiebwe couldn't find the rebound. Uh-oh, Chapman's hurt. He's holding his left leg for a moment there. Up around the quad. Vanderbilt already without Trey Thomas, who injured his hamstring last night against Alabama.
Any minutes you can get with Chapman, the better off you are. I mean, in the regular season, they were 8-3 with him in the lineup.
Xavier Wheeler blocked by Robbins. Xavier Wheeler is one of those players that you can watch do anything on the floor. And when he's got the ball in his hands, he's like Barry Sanders. The change of direction is elite.
Well, but he's gotten better at taking care of the ball, too. For the first time in his career, he has a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. At Georgia, he would give and take too much. Right now, he's got to play some smart basketball because Kentucky is struggling in the half court.
Cats 0 for their last 5. Right around the stagger screen. Nails it.
Wow. I mean, this dude is playing a perfect game. 5 of 5 from the field.
Largest lead of the game for Vandy. Up 5. Keon Brooks off the mark. Vanderbilt's got all the momentum now. Can they capitalize again? Pippen. In the paint and the bucket. That's Scottie Pippen's first bucket in this now 13-0 run.
And that's taking somebody to school there. He fakes the spin back as if he's going back towards the perimeter and goes right back baseline.
Liam Robbins, a 7-footer, has bothered Tshiebwe. Mintz finds Grady with 2 on the clock. Big time 3, Calvin Grady.
That's beautiful basketball and all about the relocation and moving off the ball by Grady.
Ends a 13-0 Vandy run. Tshiebwe the rebound. 5 on 4 if the Cats want the push. Brooks got it. Pippin's got it on his string, but he can't finish. Wheeler will push to Oscar, and a foul. We've got a barn burner in Tampa. Vandy, the 11 seed, with a 2-point lead in the second half against the surging Cats. We've had 3 ties and 9 lead changes in this final quarterfinal in the SEC tournament. Vandy leads Kentucky by 2. Scottie Pippen Jr. 1 bucket here in the second half. It was a beauty.
Yeah, he's setting up Grady that whole time. He was never pulling that ball back out. He just wanted Grady to think he was and then spin right back baseline.
He said he's too short.
Yeah, too little, taking him down. And then look at Grady, where he comes from the top of the key, knows that baseline driver with the corner open, makes up for it on the offensive end.
A game of runs already. Kentucky a 12-0 run in the first half. Vandy opened the second half with a 13-0 run. And to your point, the key for Vandy getting supporting help for Scottie Pippen Jr. He only had 1 bucket in that run. Oscar Tshiebwe to the free throw line. Junior from Lubumbashi in the Dominican Republic of the Congo. Played at Kennedy Catholic High School. He was a McDonald's All-American and the Gatorade Player of the Year in 2019 before going to play for Bob Huggins in West Virginia. One more coming for Tshiebwe. What's happening in the Cats huddle?
Couple different things that Coach Cal has been emphasizing to the Cats guys, starting with rebounding. That's been the recurring theme for both sides tonight. But he's really disappointed in the amount of tipped balls that Vanderbilt's been able to go up and get. A real big emphasis on snatching those balls out of the air as they're coming off the boards. Another emphasis on running more. He likes how they look in transition on offense right now, speeding them up. He wants them to keep moving.
It's a 7-0 Kentucky run right now. Pippen. Studi can't find space. Interior pass, Malora Brown fouled as the ball fell out of his hands. If that's on Brooks, that is his 3rd.
And Kentucky played that perfectly. The baseline drive, he was looking for that corner pass. Kentucky was all over it, exactly what they practiced and shoot around this morning. But Malora Brown stayed active, bailed out Studi.
Quentin Malora Brown, 49% from the free throw line on the season. And that'll put Brooks at the free throw line. Brown hits his second. Jacob Toppin back on the floor for Kentucky, but he's playing with a mask on after taking a shot to the nose from Tshiebwe in the first half.
Bad spacing. Toppin can't get an entry pass if you're within 5 feet of the post player.
Air ball. Tshiebwe got his hands on it for a quick minute. It'll be Vanderbilt basketball.
I like the play they ran. Use Grady as a screener. When your best shooter can be your most effective screener, they're unable to get the post look off Tshiebwe.
Tshiebwe with the reach there. I mispronounced his home country, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Apologies. Here's Pippen now. Tshiebwe had the near steal. They got a Kentucky reach in. Dismay.
The fans don't like it, but Kentucky, the one thing they've done well defensively is play without fouling. If you would have told me that Vanderbilt would have only been to the free throw line 8 times this deep into the game, I'd say no chance they're even in it. They rely so heavily on it.
Last night against Alabama, Vanderbilt went to the free throw line 45 times. They got 31 points from the line. Pippen. No, that last foul was on Toppin, by the way. Tshiebwe will start the break.
Well, his supporting cast been good, but Pippen's going to have to make some shots.
Tshiebwe rolls it home. And he's got another double-double. 14th consecutive. Pippen working on Mintz. Got everybody in the air, and the foul occurred after the fact. And it's going to go on Malora Brown.
Tshiebwe just buries the defender, gets that deep post position. Again, he just has no wasted dribbles in the post. Makes the game extremely simple.
'25th double-double for Oscar Tshiebwe this season. Wheeler.
That's what worries you in March, right? The guys sagging off. Can your point guard make the open 15-footer when teams dare him to shoot it?
Lawrence around the stagger. The drive on Tshiebwe. Not a reliable move with Toppin waiting.
Toppin, the energy guy, highlight reel maker. I mean, this guy gets in more highlights than the Red Zone channel. This dude's unbelievable.
Dynamite football drop in Collinsworth.
SEC now, I should say. More highlights than SEC.
Yeah, stick with the company. Shot clock now 3. Chapman threw it up. Shot clock went off. They play on, and Washington converts. Stackhouse went crazy, and he made contact with the officials in the sideline. He just got teed up, just like he did at Rupp.
Well, he had a good look at it. He was right there. The defender can't go from point A to point B. I thought in real time the defender did not go point A to point B. He gets set. To me, Mintz gets set, and then he throws into the defense, as opposed to him taking it in the air. I think if Chapman would have gone up with the shot while Mintz was still in the air, he would have gotten the whistle.
See if this is the turning point in the game. You don't often see a college coach run interference on an official coming down the sideline. And he was right in front of Pat Adams, now giving it to Doug Shows. February 2nd at Rupp. Boom. Got teed up there with 14 minutes to play. And he was running hot then. He's running hot now. Chapman swatted by Tshiebwe. 7th block for the Cats. Washington extends the lead. Timeout, Vanderbilt. Everyone in blue on their feet. It's a 15-1 run for Kentucky. And the Cats in danger of taking this over. With everything going wrong for Vanderbilt right now, they don't get the call on the jump shot from Chapman. Terry Stackhouse complaining after the play, not that it was contact with the official that caused it. Then the technical, Tshiebwe with the block on Chapman. All of this is part of a 15-1 Kentucky run, and since the technical, Kentucky has outscored Vandy by 4.
Well, in the SEC tournament, the last thing you want to do is to start feeling like you're in Rupp Arena, and that's what just happened on that run.
Oscar Tshiebwe getting his game going. 6 points and 2 of 2 shooting in the second half.
And I think it's the defense more than anything. The big block by Toppin, Of course, the one by Tshiebwe that leads to the transition bucket. Ty Washington getting in the mix. I mean, that's where Kentucky can really get their good three-point looks.
Alyssa, what do you got on Oscar?
I got to talk to him yesterday during shoot-around, guys, and first of all, talking to Oscar Tshiebwe, it's impossible to be in a bad mood. The guy is always smiling from ear to ear, at least off the court, because we know he's pretty intense on the court, but he said he was extra excited to play in this tournament. Of course, having to sit out because of transferring to Kentucky last season. It was a tough season to watch for Kentucky fans. I know they don't want to be reminded of it, but I told him, what's the biggest difference from last year's team to this year's team? He said, well, last year, this team just wasn't physical enough. This year, no problem. We're seeing that out there tonight.
Alyssa, thank you. Feels, Dane, like the game is hanging in its balance right now. What does Vanderbilt need to accomplish?
Well, they've got to get a good look, and it's got to be Scottie Pippen. I know the supporting cast, again, has been really good, but he's got to make a bucket for him. And
that pass went off of his teammate's shoulder, if not neck, and a 3-second violation on Melora Brown.
Again, the danger is for Vanderbilt, you don't want Kentucky running, but you kind of need the transition game yourself because that court can be challenging. I think they've gotten away from some looks to Jordan Wright in the post where they've been able to calm things down and get some good looks using him as kind of a point forward.
Ty Washington floater. It's a big miss early in the clock for Kentucky.
Look at those hands by Tshiebwe. I mean, that's on one of the best point guards in the SEC, getting a paw on it. The most underrated part of his game, he leads the team in steals too, Oscar Tshiebwe. And usually that's on the loose ball side, just corralling it. Good hands.
Interesting, Vandy rolling with Melora Brown at the 5 instead of Liam Robbins. He's been bothered by a bad ankle lately. Pippen, mid-range. An air ball. Melora Brown went into the standard. Kentucky has a chance to push it. They're on an 8-0 run. Toppin to Washington. Melora Brown's doing a good job getting Tshiebwe away from the basket.
Yeah, that was a good box out there. I mean, you're not going to stop Tshiebwe. You just got to make it difficult on him.
Sloppy. Here's Mintz. Wow, he went for the poster and he got the foul. Mintz will be going to the line after the second on Jordan Wright.
Tom, this is what Kentucky practiced. They said when Vanderbilt drives baseline, stay home, stay on your guy in the baseline corner. And so Lawrence is going to drive baseline. He's not driving to score. He's driving to pass. But Kentucky takes it all away. They stay home, and then they are off to the races.
Mintz 74% on the season. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
How about the role of Davion Mintz? I mean, a year ago, he was trying to play the point guard position and be the hero for a Cinderella Kentucky team. Now he's thriving as a 6-man for a national championship contender.
Great story from Mintz after struggling the game before Kansas. Met a young fan. It motivated him when he learned just how much his Kentucky basketball program means to fans across the entire country. He goes 1 of 2 from the line. And a foul on Severe Wheeler in the backcourt. Interesting that Vanderbilt has gone big here with Melora Brown and Robbins in the game at the same time.
Well, they don't have a deep bench. And as you mentioned, with Trey Thomas out, even when they maybe want to go small, they got to give guys breathers. But this is a good lineup for them. It's served them well throughout the season. They don't always go with it, but they're more than capable with Melora Brown playing the 4. Good passer and screener.
Pippen is 2 for 14 in this game. And they got Mintz. Could have easily been a push-off on Pippen, and that is a 3rd personal on Davion Mintz.
I tell you, if Jerry Stackhouse doesn't get that tech, I'm not sure they don't get some of these hand checks here. I think he made his point loud and clear. And Vanderbilt has had a few touch fouls go their way past few possessions, and they got to get some points from the free throw line.
Got 31 from the line last night. in the bonus now. Pippen will get another. Grady back on the floor for Kentucky. Needing to get points from the line. They missed their last 8 from the floor. And after that quick start, Vandy just 33% in the second half. That Stackhouse technical came 2 minutes ago. Toppin. What a bucket. The mass doesn't seem to bother him. He's got 6 now. Right over Wheeler. Size him up. And it's 6-5 shot right over the top. That's his 3rd 3 this half.
Really didn't get open on that, but he got the matchup he wanted. Good decision by Wright.
Toppin with the left hand. He's got back-to-back buckets from mid-range and from up close.
He's been huge for Kentucky in this game on both ends of the court.
Robbins working on Tshiebwe. And turned it over. He thought Wright was going backdoor.
I think Robbins got to take that one from 3. I know he's been a little bit inconsistent from deep, but if you got an open look, don't turn it down because you might not get another open look in that possession.
Robbins 1 for 3 from deep in this game. Vandy has turned it over 10 times. Tshiebwe, quick spin move.
Nice charge.
Picked up on Melora Brown. The 3rd on Grady.
I tell you, Melora Brown single-handedly saved that possession for Vanderbilt. First he comes over with the double team after Robbins got beat on the spin move baseline. He forces Tshiebwe to kick it out. As Vanderbilt's scrambling, he's the one in the perfect position.
Mintz, Brooks, and Grady all have 3.
See, nothing's there. When they drop baseline, there's no pass available.
Right, down the lane.
Well done by Wright. Sometimes you just got to put your head down and get to the rack. He's been extremely productive. Now 7 of 7 from the field. Get the ball to number 4.
Pippen able to slack off Wheeler.
Ty Washington was looking right when he needs to be looking left. Tshiebwe was calling for it.
Poked away by Chapman. Tshiebwe tracks it down. Shot clock at 2. Pull up, Brooks. Not even close. A Kentucky turnover. Their 11th.
Jordan Wright's been really good from the perimeter this time as they try to close out from the 3. He says, all right, I'll make you pay on the drive. Really shown that he can be a 3-level scorer at the rim, mid-range, and from deep. But Tom, I mean, that's something that can't happen in March. Ty Washington, all he had to do was take 1 dribble left and feed Tshiebwe. Instead, he dribbles opposite from him, and Tshiebwe doesn't get the ball until he's at half court picking up a loose one into the shot clock.
Cats playing great basketball late. They won 4 of 5. Rising number 5 in the country. Wright with 8. Into Mintz. Robbins fighting for it. Tshiebwe saves it right to the big guy, and Tshiebwe wiped out next to the cheerleaders.
He doesn't make many mistakes, but they teach you that in elementary school. Never save the ball under the other team's basket. Robbins with the easiest 2 he'll have all night.
Cats haven't scored in over 2 minutes. Loose ball. Pippen finds it. Chapman will lead the break. And he will finish the break. 1-point game. Timeout, John Calipari. 6-0 run for Vandy over the last 95 seconds. There's a lot on the line in this one. It is emotional. Jerry Stackhouse has been teed up. Jack Calipari is running hot. Kentucky 59, Vandy 58 in the SEC tournament. Tampa, Florida, generous host. The weather has been perfect, and the basketball has been sensational. 59-58, Kentucky leads Vandy. Final game of 4 today, and Jordan Wright is nearly perfect in this one.
Yeah, Jordan Wright is a reflection of Vanderbilt basketball in the Stackhouse era. The junior in year 3, the strides he's made from freshman to sophomore to junior season has been incredible. And much like Jerry Stackhouse when he got hired, I think a lot of people were just like, let me take a wait-and-see approach. When you sign a guy like Jordan Wright, you're like, let me take a wait-and-see approach. Well, now we've seen the body of work and the improvement and the leaps and bounds this program has made in the last 3 years. And it's not just 17 and 15. You can wipe that record off the screen. This team is playing with such confidence that they're here in the SEC tournament thinking they can knock off Kentucky in what used to be the Kentucky Invitational.
It wasn't a wait-and-see approach for Wright himself. He had to get in better shape, so he dropped 20 pounds in the off-season. A lot of work to get down to 226 with that 6'5" frame. Also works in the classroom, the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year. And now with 7 minutes to play, he's got Vandy within 1.
Coach Cal mad at the officials there saying, you were calling that on the other end. You're going to call hand checks, call them down here.
Washington, 15-footer. Studi fighting for it. Somehow finds Tshiebwe. It always does. Wheeler, pull up. Got it.
Way to step into it.
Here's Wright off the curl. Robbins for 3. He's now 2 for 4 from deep. Tshiebwe wanted the lob. Washington corner. Another. And suddenly a Kentucky surge. Cats up 6. Pippen threw it away. He hooked up with Studi on multiple corner threes last night. He thought Studi was going to drift that way.
Well, he's been unable to get open off the screens. Mintz has been harassing and chasing Pippen, so they try to post up Wheeler. Doesn't have any better luck there. Tough night for number 2 offensively.
3 turnovers to go with a 2 for 14 shooting night. Oscar Tshiebwe, triple team. Toppin to Tai. Right. Again.
He's had an answer every single time. Best thing he did there was quiet the crowd just a little bit. This game was close to getting out of hand. Keep it within striking distance for the under 4 timeout. Give yourself a chance.
Tshiebwe got Robbins in the air. Dump down to Tai Washington.
That is spectacular. You won't see a better pass in college basketball today than what Xavier Wheeler just did.
3rd in the nation in assists with 7 a game. Pippen working on Tshiebwe. Says no, sir. 9th block of the night for Kentucky.
How about Wheeler going baseline? And credit Washington to continue to move. But wow, the vision there and all that traffic has the whole defense looking the other way.
Pippen, another air ball. Tshiebwe has 5 blocks tonight for Kentucky.
This is where you do have to start wondering about the legs of Scottie Pippen Jr., whose usage rate is so high. His shots seem to be all arm, no legs.
Shot clock at 4. And they get Chapman with the reach. There'll be 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Kentucky leads Vandy 69-60. Pardon me, they'll reset that after the foul. But the Cats have made their last 4, and Kentucky flexing its muscles here late in the second half against Vandy. Both ends, it was a 1-point lead at 7:44, but the Cats won a 10-2 run, and Ty Washington, a big part of that. He's got 21 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kid that loves the three-point line and the mid-range shot. And if you're Vanderbilt, you got to try to make him go all the way to the rim. But they have lost him in this second half on this big run for Vanderbilt. The only time he really got in the paint was moving without the basketball. And how about his partner there, Sahvir Wheeler, with 11 assists. I mean, when things break down offensively and your play doesn't work, this is what you love about Kentucky, is they have guys that can just go make a play for themselves or for others.
50% shooting, 4 of 5 from deep. In Big 12 action in Kansas City, KU knocked off TCU 75-62. Their competition for Kentucky for a #1 seed. If the Cats can win this, remember Baylor lost to a hot shooting Oklahoma team in the Big 12 yesterday. Wheeler, lob, Tshiebwe, no. And the Doors find it.
They've got a few shooters. I mean, we have not called Studi's name in a while. 10 and black has got to keep moving. That's not the outlet pass you want. Not getting anything on their penetration.
Studi had 6 threes last night. He's got 2 tonight.
There
Here he is. A deep one. Net. The freshman Miles Studi with his first bucket this half. Wheeler has 11 assists. He'll take this one himself.
Don't be surprised if Stackhouse doesn't run the same exact play to Studi.
Pippen downhill. Another miss for the preseason player of the year, Scottie Pippen, 2 for 17 tonight.
Really good team defense by Kentucky that time, closing out extremely well, guarding the ball and doing so without fouling and just staying vertical. And then you got, as you said, the eraser. Oscar Tshiebwe just affects the game in so many ways.
Tshiebwe has 14 rebounds and 5 blocks. Go along with 12 points.
And what would you would call a little bit of a quiet night for him?
Yeah, it's all relative, right? The expectations have ballooned for Oscar Tshiebwe on a nightly basis.
Smart play by Toppin. Don't force the issue with numbers. Pull it out to your guard. Run some clock.
Winner gets Tennessee. 2 minutes left in regulation. Here's Wheeler and Tshiebwe.
I don't like him refusing the ball screen. I thought he could have gotten it and gone to a strong hand, created some penetration.
Right? Big jumper for Vanderbilt. Cats lead by 5. It's a 1-point game with 7:44 to play. And Vandy's still hanging around. 5 on the clock. Here's Tshiebwe. Now 3. Passes Toppin. Jumper to beat the buzzer for Jacob Toppin.
Nice job by Toppin. I thought he was going in to crash the glass, and all of a sudden he's like, all right, I'll take the 15-footer instead.
Timeout, Jerry Stackhouse of Vanderbilt. 56 seconds left. And now trailing by 7.
You'll see Tshiebwe just doing what he does in the post, whether it's for himself or for others, and kicks it out to Toppin, who I think was ready to come in and try to get that offensive rebound with the shot clock winding down. Instead says, all right, I'll go ahead and make the clutch shot.
Ty Washington with 21. Oscar Tshiebwe 12 of 14. Wheeler 11 assists. And oh, by the way, Jacob Toppin is in double figures with 5 of 6 shooting. The question for Kentucky, if they're able to win a national championship, comes down to performing when games are on the line, and it certainly looks like they have that gene.
And when they're at full strength, right? I mean, with all these guards, you see what they can do. They're at their best when everybody's contributing. Everybody is a star in their role. You saw it there for guys like Jacob Toppin, huge off the bench. Davion Mintz is in the game right now. We haven't said his name too much.
Yep.
Guess what? Trying to break the press. How nice is it to have Mintz, a primary ball handler option? You got Ty Washington and Wheeler. You can win games in March with that type of guard play collectively.
Ty Washington only had 6 points in the Florida game. We know that he's capable of being an All-American type player. He's playing like one tonight.
He is, but I think what's nice for him is the pressure's not on him to carry the burden offensively game in, game out. Because of the veterans they have around him, he can find his way into the game. He came on late in this one as opposed to them needing him to be the top performer throughout the entire game.
Wright turns and fires. Bottoms. Jordan Wright's got 27. As simple as you can get on the inbounds play.
He's been the best player in this game.
Suddenly a 4-point Kentucky lead. Mintz gets it to Washington. They solve the press. They'll hold. Wheeler, an 80% free throw shooter. Vandy won't foul, down 4. Wheeler turns around. He's got 11 assists. Washington with 4. Working on Pippen. Got space. Rebound Toppin off of Melora Brown. Out of bounds and Kentucky basketball. All of that defensive effort for Vanderbilt and nothing.
They were terrific, but they just could not match the energy of Toppin. I mean, Toppin comes through here. He doesn't get any credit for the rebound, but he keeps it alive, causes the deflection. And then Melora Brown, who did everything right on that possession defensively for Vanderbilt. But Stute just unable to put a big enough body on Toppin, whose motor just never stops.
They're going to take another look at this. Foot was down for Toppin. This should be Vanderbilt basketball. And a quick review will give Vandy the ball and maybe another second or 2 on the clock, which will also be key. Vandy will take every advantage it can get. Down 4. With maybe 22 seconds left. And so Jerry Stackhouse elected not to foul. They get the defensive stop after all. And they're going to come back down the other way. And Jordan Wright has turned into the go-to guy.
Oh, he certainly has. And anybody that's in front of him, he thinks he has the advantage on, whether as a driver or pulling up from mid-range or 3. And Jerry Stackhouse is terrific with improvising in the huddle.
This was that last inbounds play.
Yeah, they've got quick hitters in their arsenal. And that one's just bad defense by Kentucky, though. I mean, you got the hottest shooter in the game, and you play awful.
John Calipari drawing up what looks like the press break in this scenario because they know Vandy's been running it. And the Cats haven't had much of an issue with it. Here's another look at that last play. Jacob Toppin with his foot down, out of bounds.
But here's the problem. That's not what they went to review. They went to review this deflection.
Which reflection? Which deflection?
Oh, they have called it. Pardon me. No, they're giving it to Kentucky. That's my point. They reviewed.
Pat Adams will explain.
The Melora Brown.
Well, they say they reviewed out of bounds and confirmed it, and to put 21.4 on the clock is what took so long. And they must have been looking at the second out of bounds instead of the first
exactly
one.
Right. They were looking at the second deflection.
And that's a missed call by this officiating crew. Should have been Vanderbilt's basketball. Chapman will foul him. So they were reviewing Melora Brown deep in the corner when on the rebound, Toppin had it out of bounds with his foot down.
Yeah, but it continues to be
correct
the play after that, so they have to go back and review that one there. I mean, that is a tough break for Vanderbilt.
It's a big mistake as Ty Washington goes to the free throw line. 19 seconds remaining. 1-and-1. Got the first. If you're a Vanderbilt fan right now, you're distraught at that review. Two clutch free throws for Ty Washington. The lead's now 6. Pippen will push. Don't have much time. Pippen trying to penetrate. Goes around Tshiebwe. Now 9. Melora Brown with 2. They're down 6. They're going to have to foul immediately. And a foul on the perimeter on Jordan Wright. Trying to deny. Ty Washington grabbed his jersey.
Well, if Kentucky holds on here, John Calipari told us earlier today, he said the first one in the tournament can be the toughest one. Trying to get your legs under you, get a feel for the arena, and going up against a confident team coming off a couple wins. Vanderbilt with an incredible effort led by Jordan Wright.
Ty Washington has found his stroke tonight. He's got a team high 24 on 4 or 5 shooting from deep and 4 or 5 at the free throw line. Eight seconds left, 6-point game. Wright fumbled with it. He'll heave. And Kentucky will run out the clock on Vanderbilt. 77-71. John Calipari goes to 10-1 in SEC quarterfinal games. And the Cats will get a monster rematch tomorrow afternoon on ESPN with Tennessee.
Yeah, two teams that very well could make a Final Four run tomorrow, but for this one, you got to applaud Kentucky. A hard-fought game by Vanderbilt, but the stars stepped up. It was Wheeler with the assist, Ty Washington making big plays, Oscar Tshiebwe doing what he does, and Jacob Toppin was phenomenal with some momentum-changing energy and effort plays.
Oscar Tshiebwe, another double-double, 12 points, 14 boards, 5 blocks. Vandy did a pretty good job on him defensively in the first half when Tshiebwe was held to just 6 points, And Vandy sees a 3-game win streak come to an end after a couple of inspired games here in this tournament. But their 3rd game in 3 days, they couldn't pull it off. Tennessee knocked off Mississippi State earlier. It'll be chalk on the bottom. 3-seed Kentucky, 2-seed Tennessee, and Texas A&M needing to keep winning to make it into the tournament. Tshiebwe was sensational, and he's earned a post-game interview with Alyssa Lang.
Oscar, it was a hard-fought battle all the way down to the end. What did y'all do in the second half to pull this one out?
I told my teammates we have to fight. Like Coach told us, first game is always the hardest game. If we don't fight, we're not going to bring a victory. And I told them I will give everything for my team. I will give everything for the W. So I'm so excited. I thank God for this.
Another double-double for you. What went into your personal performance tonight?
It is about fighting. I know when I fight, I run, I'm always bring up what I can do. And I thank God for the strength and everything God is doing for me. So I'm so excited right now.
How about your teammate, Ty Washington, leading you guys in scoring tonight? What'd you see from him?
I am so proud of him. I told him, boy, you got to just do what you can do to help us. It is not about us. It's not about me. It's about the team. Every time we win, I'm so happy. I don't care how I did, but we got to bring a win.
Oscar, congrats on win 1.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tom, back over to you.
Quickly become the most beloved cat in a long time. Xavier Wheeler with 11 assists in this one. Oscar Tshiebwe leaves to the adoration of the Kentucky faithful, and there's a free headband for somebody. Kentucky holds on for a 77-71 victory over Vandy for Dana.